Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today I wanted to do a quick video because it is getting dark to show you how I built one of my raised beds with landscape block. Now, I love using landscape block because it does not ever decompose. It's going to last forever. Although there are a couple of problems that I'd like to show you that there's probably fixes for, but they haven't bothered me yet. So let me show you what I've done. Now, this is a 4x8 bed. And it looks just like all the other garden beds that I built. Now what I did is I leveled each block. This is on top of the topsoil that I brought in. There's about 4 inches of topsoil, and then there's turf grass underneath that's pretty much dead right now. And I'm not going to put any cardboard down, any landscape fabric. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Now the reason I'm going to do it that way is on the beds that I did up at the top of the hill, and let me show you those. Okay, so here's my garden beds that I did many years ago. These were built in 2007. These beds, I did an experiment. Some of them I put landscape fabric underneath, some of them I put cardboard, and some of them I didn't put anything. The ones that were my favorites were the ones that I didn't put anything down. Now this entire hill was grass, and I did the exact same thing to this hill that I did down here. I just starved the grass of water and put mulch over the top, and it looks like we need to put more mulch down, but that'll come another time. So anyway, the beds that I like the very least and that are the hardest to work with are the ones that have landscape fabric down underneath them. And I've been slowly trying to remove that, but it's really difficult to remove when you have 6 inches of soil on top. Now these beds are all a single block high, but I wanted to experiment and see if I like the 2 blocks better, and I actually do. So the new bed that I'm going to build is going to have 2 layers of blocks. I mean, they all grow pretty well. I just like the deeper beds better. These beds down here eventually will get a 2nd layer. Now I am going to put drip irrigation in this bed the same as is in all my beds. And let me show you kind of how I'm going to do that. So the first thing that I did, sorry for the sun, but over here, actually let's just head over here. Getting a lot of walking in today. Well, actually a lot of work in today. Right under here where you can't see, there's a drip line that is attached to my garden zone. There's one over there, and there's one over here. And the one over here I'm going to use for this garden bed. I'm going to also build one more. So I stretched a blank line that doesn't have any holes in it. I trenched, brought it all the way over here, popped it out of the ground there. So this is attached to my other garden beds. I took a T-connector right there. I'm going to bury this when I'm done. Took it over to the garden bed and dug a trench so it doesn't get squished. It's buried pretty deeply under there and stapled down. And this block is a little crooked. We're going to have to do some more adjusting before I put too much soil in here. But anyway, I popped it up here, put in a corner connector, and now this is what I'm going to use to attach the irrigation line to, the drip line. The only issue is this side right here. When I went and purchased these, I didn't pay attention, and this side is not the same size as this one. So I need to go tomorrow and get a replacement part. But I'm going to cut this down to size, once I put the 2nd level of blocks in here, and attach that to the drip line using this and T-connectors. And let me show you what it looks like in my other garden beds when it's finished. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. I actually created a whole video of doing garden irrigation, and I can't remember what happened, but I lost the entire video. It took a long time. But anyway, this is a 4-way connector, corner connectors and T-connectors. And we just run the irrigation through here. And here's the line that they're attached to. Now, I've ordered more blocks. I only had these blocks because I am repurposing them from another area in my yard. But when I get the other landscape blocks, I will show you the finished beds once they're done. So I guess before then, what I'll show you is what I'm going to use to fill the beds with. Now, I've done another video on raised bed soil mix. And what I generally do is I put in equal parts compost or planting mix, vermiculite, which helps hold water and makes you not have to water as often, and peat. So this is 3.8 cubic feet of peat moss. There's 4 cubic feet of compost and 2 cubic feet of vermiculite. Now I don't really actually put as much vermiculite in, but I will put 1 full bag of vermiculite in per bed. And this area where my tripod is where the other bed is going to be built. So these beds are really easy to build. There's no screws, there's no cutting, there's nothing other than using a level and moving soil around. This took me probably an hour to build because it was really hot and I'm getting really old. So between each block that I had to pick up and carry, because they are quite heavy, and moving away all the mulch and everything, I'd have to stand and rest in the shade for about 5 or 10 minutes. It's really sad getting old. But anyway, the second layer going on top of this is going to go much quicker. And as I said, I'm going to be getting the rest of the blocks next week, and I'll show you how I build it then. But anyway, I wanted to give you a sneak peek of how I do my raised beds. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, like and subscribe, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.